So today we are going to talk about BAS training, and so everybody already got your handout. So in today's topic, we actually separate it into two parts. First part, we will talk about some related definitions related to BAS. And second part is how do we process the BAS lodgement. So we start from the first part. At least 4 items basically we need to know what it's about related to BAS. And firstly, what is BAS? BAS is short for business activity statements. Through these statements, and we lodge it, the ATO knows how our business is going, and then we can fulfill our tax obligations, which is how ATO can get money. And the second one is what does BAS include? So generally, BAS include a GST and PA wage withholding, which is related to wages, and the PA wage installments is related to income tax, and the FBT. Here we only talk about the first 2 parts in today's topics, because the third one is an annually thing, and we only talk about monthly and quarterly. And the last one, FBT, we haven't registered for that, so we're not talking about that today. So the lodgement frequency, which means how often we lodge the BAS. So there are 3 options: monthly, quarterly, and annually. So it depends on your business size. Usually it will be the bigger size you are, and more frequent you will be. For example, but there have some compulsory rules. For example, like if your annual turnover is more than 20 millions, or your annual PA wage withholding obligation is between 25,000 to 1 million, then you have to lodge your BAS based on calendar months. So for our company, I make a summary here, and also you have the handouts like this. It's the same form, just easy to read. So we, first column is these entities we are taking care of. And does it register for GST? Tick, tick, tick. So for the rest 4, we haven't. But for ACA, we will register for GST soon. And so another column is for does it register PA wage. Here is related to wages, not talking about income tax. So for the first 4, we register. But we have different frequency for each entities. So every time when you process the lodgement, you need to refer to this form, unless you already remember it. So for example, the special one is usually will be the GST and the PA wage lodgement are the same terms, but for Trueline, this one is a little bit special. GST we lodge it quarterly, and for PA wage we lodge it monthly. So when we run report, we need to take care pay attention to the period that you selected. For the last column here is accounting basis. Is when the administrator people OSCE holder, they can decide which accounting basis we're using. So we'll talk about it later when we do the example. So we go back to the definition, the due date. So based on the taxation law, if you choose the monthly lodgement, then it will be the following month, the 21st day. And if this day, on the 21st, is a holiday or weekend, then the next business day will be the due date. So if it's quarterly, then for every year we have 4 quarters. Then after this quarter's finished, the following month, 28th, is slightly different. It's 28th is the due date. So it lists here. We can use it as reference. So we finished the first part. The next part will move to how to process the BAS lodgement. So generally we have 4 steps. First is prepare MLB files, And then we use, when these files are ready, the figures ready, we go to business portal and to lodge it online. And we create the payments in bank. After, it's just treated as a normal payment, normal invoice. And then finish all the things, we file it. All the accounting files need to be kept for 5 years. So we need to keep it. Let's move to the first part. So this is tips for when we prepare the MLB file. Usually when we launch the BAS, every transactions should be locked, which means no changes should be due when you launch the BASes. If you find any error after you launch BAS, then you use general journal or other functions to do the adjustment in current period, rather than allocate to fix it in that period. So when you prepare MLB file, 4 files you need to generate. For the first one is depends on the business. It can be accrual basis or cash basis. There is an option in MLB. So let's see some example. So this is what summary report will look like. We use TrueLine as an example. So here we can see this is summary, and here is accrual. And the period is because we see the forms, the TrueLine is quarterly lodgement. So we choose this quarter. And this is what it looks like. We'll use MLB, we will do an example later. And this one is a detailed report. For that one, we can see different categories, tax code categories. And it's just only have one figure here. But this one is show all the details, all the transaction happened in this quarter. So what it looks like. This is PAYG activity reports. So is in here the tax column actually is withheld from wages. Also, for example, we can see the period here is monthly rather than from April to June. So just need to pay a little bit attention to this part. Otherwise, we may launch more and we will pay more. So the last one is the sign of, the sign of page. It's just put it as a cover. So for example, this one is TrueLine, then we can put it as TRU here and the periods. And we tick whether we print it out, generate a report here, and we tick, just to remind us, don't forget anything. And who prepared this report, the date, and then check it. It's just, we will come back to this form again later. So in MLB, we will generate all the GSC and PAYG report in reports function. We'll click the button here, and it will show us this picture. In this window, we click GSC. So here is the place we can choose accrual or cash basis. So for the summary reports, the first report we have see, we click this button and we can see that one. For example, the garden spa is still cash basis. Then we won't choose the first one, we will choose the second one. This one is the detail, and it shows the second reports we can see. So this is related to the third part, third report, PAYG reports. It's in payroll tab here. And the first one, employee activity summaries. It's just, as I said, pay attention to the period you're choosing. So next step, after we generate all the reports, the next step we will check every transactions to see whether it use the correct tax code. We choose the tax code when we do the data entry. Every invoice we receive or sales we issued, we need to put a tax code there. So here are 6 tax codes we currently used. in all the entities. So for CAP, actually it's still the 10%, but it's when we choose this tax code, it will give us another category in the GST reports. Usually it will use for all the assets. So for GST, as we all know, goods and service tax is 10%. For GNR is some entities didn't register for GST, so we will choose this one. It's 0%. For free, some items are free, GST free. For example, like water, stamp duty, some overseas purchase. So we'll choose this one. The ITS is income tax supply. Oh no, input tax supply. Sorry, and like interest income, this one is 0%. So there's no GST related to this one. We choose this one. It's just a show as CAP, show another columns there. Categories there. For NT is not reportable, which means it's out of all the other area. So it's not in any of them. For example, like loan and internal transfer, it actually is not related to our running business, so it's not reportable. So here we see a detailed draft report. Here's what we do. When we first generate these reports, we will just have a look. The people who generated this report will first have a look each transactions to see whether it's reasonable. Here, this is the category, is GST free. Then we go through each one based on your knowledge about the supplier or the activities related to this business. You will have a sense whether it's reasonable or not. Then we go through it. Like this account service fee is bank charge. Kind of this thing is GST free. So it's correct. We look through, and we may think, for example, like this one, MailChimp, we may think is it may have some GST. So we may circle this one, and later we go back to MLB to see whether it should be or not. Then you can find out this supplier actually is overseas, so which is GST free. So it's no problems here. So at the bottom, we go through it. Here, see, we put some notes here. This is GST column category, which all the transactions here are include GST. We put a circle here is we think red jacket is this entity didn't register GST, which should be GNR, but it's in this category, so we circle it. We go back to MLB, we'll fix this problem. So the same. It's just keep going one by one, and the same problem happen there. We think this one is this one may have a registered GST or may not, so it's still circle. And for this one, when you do the data entry every day, you will familiar with this entity. So this amount is quite big, so usually it will related to asset purchase. So it should use the tax code CAP rather than GST. So we circle it. Then I will show you guys in an example how to fix this, and it's just go through the whole report like this way. Then we keep going. After we get into MLB to fix all these questions or issues, we reprinted this report. So it will show us like this. So after you fix the problem here, you change the tax code as CAP, the new categories are here. So when you log in BAS, they require you to separate. So you can get your figures from here. So we keep going. After the people generate a report and they check it themselves, no matter who, and then you hand over this package to manager to check it again, and then sign off it. If there's a, because we have another people to check it as double check. If there's no problem, that's good. We're ready to go. If still have some problem, we need to redo it, just like I show you guys. So if all files done is ready, then you save it in ISG server. This is the path. Then we can go there to save our backup our electronic file there. Then all the until now all MLB files are prepared, are ready to go. And then the second steps is we launch business BAS on business portal. This is the website we are going to launch it. And when we log in, it will show like this. Here is the activity statement. You click on it. In this part, it will show you all the outstanding, the reports waiting for you to launch. So here we can see for the fourth quarter, we already launched. That's here. So it will show in the bottom part. Here is the July one, and you can see the due date, and it's overdue or not overdue. So this is the picture of that. And after you click into the reports, you can see we will have a worksheet here to help you to calculate the GST, how much is payable or refundable. So we see different numbers here. Each of them have meanings. So you everybody get a handouts, which is the what's this sales mean. So it's this file. You can see G1 is total sales. It includes GST-free sales, input tax sales, taxable sales. And here are some examples that we usually can see in our invoice, our business activities. So it's the same. G2. Currently in our business, we don't have any figures for this column. Sale. So other GST-free is from the report that I show you. This one. GST-free, this category, the total of this category. So here is what I say, talk about the CAP tax code. If you purchase some asset, you will put into G10. If it's not asset, then the total asset will go to G11, not capital purchase. This file almost includes everything we need to know when we launch the GST and the PA wedge withholding. So we put it aside. Then after we fill in this form, I'll show you how to put which figures to put into which cell later. After we fill all the figures, then we submit and we log in again to confirm your submit is success. And then we'll show the pictures before is in the bottom part. Then we need to print the pay slips and activity statements and step together with the MLB file, and it's ready to pay. That's what I said is BAS pay slip activity statement. Yep. After you pay this one, and then you file it. So here we're going to see some example. So first, the way you can go to see the file that I give to you, the 4 steps. It's easy to go back to. Here. First, prepare MLB file, launch payment file. So we go through this example based on this sequence. First, we go to MLB file, click report, click GST, and then this is true land. Truant is quarterly loss GST and a monthly loss payroll. So we click summary accrual. Choose the period. And display. So we have a figure here. We save it. Now I save it as local, but the path I already showed in the PPT is in financial F13 BAS, and then you go into this entity, you save it there as, for example, like this one, I save here as ADS, which is Truant, and will be GST accrual basis or accrual basis summary or detail. Just like this, you save. Here just as example. And we click this one, we choose same periods and display the same way. I save. Oh, not save here. Okay. And then here is payroll tab to generate the PAYG reports. So this is activity statements. Choose monthly. Display. So this column we'll use. We save as to the same place. So use the same way. Close it. So next step, we will go to see our reports. It's here. We will start to circle this one. So we just treat it as we already check all the thing, and we circle the wrong place. We go to MLB to fix the problem now. So we can see there's no CAP category. So we fix this problem. We go to this report to see which day it was. Where is it? So it's here. In GST category, June 26. Then we go to MLB file, find this date, find this transaction. We click it, and we change tax code here as CAP. Same. Nothing else changed. We save it. And we just treat it as we fix all the problems here. So we redisplay it. We can see the new categories here. And we already fixed all the reports, and then we click print, we save it again, and use this as the latest version of the reports we need to launch. So I close everything. So this report actually is come from the last training session, just payroll path. So we already know how to do it. This is just the place we generate reports. So we step them together. MLB file is ready. We go to the website. This is the website. It's in the PowerPoint files as well. So we click on login. Before you can log in, the administrator or key holder will create an operator account for you. Then you install in your computer, then you can log in. So we log in business portal. We choose the entity here, put the password. So here is the business portal. We click activity statement. It shows like this. So the example I use is for the fourth quarter, which we already launched. So I will click to redo it, but not submit. So just as an example. So here we, sorry, not here. So ignore this column. We'll just treat it as a new one. For the G1, so here we, in these pages, we will get our MOV file handy. So is this one. So as we already fixed all the problems we think and we reprinted, so this one's supposed to be the correct figures. So we have already see the G1's definition will include all the GST sales and GST-free sales and all other sales, not included, not reportable. So we put the total here. Sorry, these four figures, the total, into the business portal, which is supposed to be, I forgot my calculator. So it's here. Here we need to know a small tip. There's no no small digital. Is that called small digital?
Sorry? What's a member and an adult?
Yeah.
Just
no.
Oh, sense?
Yeah, no sense.
No sense. Yeah, no sense. So only whole dollars. And no, we don't have any figures here. When we use when we log in, the first login, because this is the how to say, adjustment one. So when we do the original one, so there is a star in front of here and star in front of the GST. So which means you have to fill in that part. So if for other sales is not related to your business, you can leave it blank. So we leave it blank. Other GST sales, GST-free sales from GST-free from this one. 409, so it's 410. And then capital purchase, so obviously it's not 8,500, is this figure, 1065. And for the rest is the normal GST sales. Sales. No. Oh, sorry. This is the capital purchase. I'm just saying it wrong. We put these figures there. So this is for GST part, and next part is for PA value withholding, which is how much you pay your employee and how much you withhold. So for the first two, we have to put in, which is compulsory sales. For the rest two, you can leave it blank. We go to payroll activity reports. So wages, these total figures here is how much you pay to your employee based on the contract. So 32889. And for the tax column, this is the tax you haven't actually transferred them. You withhold and you pay to ATO on behalf of them. 36. How much is it? Oh, okay. That's it. So next one. So you remember we only put sales and the purchase figures here. We didn't put any GST. So it's not automatically calculated. You need to put it in there. So go to GST report here, summary, and this is tax paid. This is we put the total figures there. That's true. For the tax collected, which means when you purchase when you sales, you collect it from your client. Tax paid is when you do the purchase. So we put this figure to 5095 to here. And for the other one, 12563 here. Okay. Then you click next. So it will give you a summary that amounts you owe tax office, the tax office owe you, and the offset these two is the figures refundable or payable. In here, in this example, we actually get a refund of these figures. We suppose that the figure, because this is due adjustment, actually this is the amount we have to pay rather than refund, but it's just as an example. So I won't click next, otherwise it will submit, so I just close this. So for example, like currently we are at this stage, we already lodged all the payments, the BAS. Then we need to save the payment slips and the activity reports statements. So we go back to this page. We click second one to see what it, after we lodge it, what it looks like. Here is the report. We can see after we lodge it, actually it's not the day we lodge it that the payment is due. It's in August 11th, the payment will be due. And you have reference number, the payments function, bank details, the bill codes, that's how we pay them. And all the figures we lodge will show here in this report. We save it, we click print friendly. And save it. We save it to the folders in PowerPoint, which is Finance BAS, Finance 13 BAS. The name will be as this one. And then you click save. This ATO file. This is the activity statement. Then we also need to print the pay slips. We go back to the home page and we this one. We click payment options. After we go back to the home page, we click the payment options here, or you can directly do that. There are two accounts under here. First is the income tax account, which is for annually tax return. Yes. And we click the second one. Yes, this is the outstanding figures here. No matter what you do the change to the activity statements, these figures will change directly. And the payments, how to pay is here. We click this one as well. Save it and treat it as a normal invoice. One BAS payslips, you save it. And at this stage, we already finished all our lodgements, so we log off. Close it. And we here currently we need to prepare all our paperwork. We printed all the paperwork stacked together. MLB, you remember the 4 files in MLB part and the 2 files in BAS part, BAS lodgements part. And then we stack them together, attach the payment request. Now ask a manager to sign it. It's ready to go to pay it. So that's the stage. Oh. Okay, all done. Relax. That's it.
Last questions.
Yeah. Oh, question.
Do you need to record this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions?
Rolling.
Yeah, rolling.
So how to decide based on cash or accrual?
Cash
basis?
accrual business.
Yeah. So why to based on cash basis?
I actually didn't prepare for this part.
Oh.
It's I think it's yeah, cut it.
So how do you decide?
Yep.
So how do you decide if it's cash or accrual? It really comes down to what the business does. So it comes down to a matter of fact. So if the business collects money and doesn't issue invoices, then typically you go on a cash basis. If a business typically has their income is via issuing invoices, then you probably put on the accrual basis. So it's not something you can say, well, let's put a column beside. It's based on how your business operates. So typical businesses that would use cash businesses would be what? What businesses use cash?
Coffee.
Yep, cafes. Yep, that's a good one. That's
Small
cafes.
business. Small retail business.
Supermarkets.
Retail store.
Yeah, some repair stores. So what business would use invoicing or accruals method?
Service, big service.
Wholesalers,
Yeah.
ISGs. Yep. Anyone who issues invoices and collects money on invoices. So that's roughly an example.
So why we keep Japan as cash basis? When you change it to accrual basis?
I want to change it to accrual basis. You can choose. You can choose which you want to run the accounts. If you run on a cash basis, then you can't claim the invoices that you the expenses. You can't claim the expense or the GST of the expense until you actually pay the invoices.
So can one company both actual and cash?
There could be one or the other.
Yeah, only one.
It has to be cash or accruals.
Actually, if a store, a retail store, sometimes they need to show the invoice to somebody. If I buy a stamp, I will show me just a receipt.
Just a receipt, cash receipt. Yeah.
Receipt and the invoice the same.
Different. So the invoice is that you owe the liability. The receipt is that you pay the liability.
Yeah, I mean the same really.
No, invoice you haven't paid me, so already giving invoices, but receipts you already pay me. I give you a certificate that you already pay me. They prove.
It's the same as China.
Yes.
So
So cash.
this is the actual,
Accrual.
accrual.
So with the SPAs, I want to put them onto accruals basis because we receive the cash anyway, so it doesn't really matter from an income perspective. But what I want to do is claim all the invoices that we accrue to pay expenses.
So
we claim it.
yeah, just for GDW, it's only every time I choose the accrual
Yes.
base,
Yeah.
no cash
The
base.
cash basis. Yeah.
And for PYG, why 出来 GBW on base monthly basis?
this
Is
is-
that for cash flow?
No, because before we use ADP and ADP do it monthly. Yeah. So, but I don't have the authority to change it. Only Daniel have the administrator OSCE, so he can change that.
I think it's okay we pay monthly because it just helps cash flow.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have to pay it, we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so that's one thing is maybe change SG to monthly basis because it's quite a big money for SG also.
We could, yeah, we could.
And how to add a new tax code.
Add a new test codes.
Maybe that CPU is a new one.
It's not new. Actually, it's default in iMovie.
Yeah, how to set up
What code is it?
CAP.
CAP capital
Purchase.
capital purchase.
And
And it's list. Well, we go to iMovie file and we go to the list. We will see test code here, and then we click new one. And for example, like CAP2 complete. Just a example test. Doesn't matter what it is. Tab and description, you can put it. If you put text GSD here, it will run when you run a GSD report. It will show categories there. And here is, for example, like GNR, which the rate will be 0, but it's still in the GSD reports. So here we put it 0. If it's CAP, we still leave it at GSD here, but the rates will be. We already used that one, so I can't do that. But we will put 10 here. So here is a link to our liability account, GSD paid and collected. That's it.
so if you create a new company, the tax code will never be changed.
Normally it will be defaults like this. We didn't do any adjustment to test code. So if, for example, we create a dummy one and we don't want it here, click the arrow, add it, delete it. That's it. Yeah.
But if you already use it, you can't delete it.
No. That's what I don't. Basically, we don't do any adjustment to text code. Yep. Not only text code, all the other functions you set up in iMovie, as long as you use it, you can't delete it.
What's the due date for monthly and quarterly?
Monthly is 21st. The following month 21st. Yeah. Due dates,
Not payday.
not payday.
And just now you said the lodgement frequently. You said three method. Is monthly, quarterly, and what's other?
Annually.
What for annually?
Yearly.
Yearly.
I think maybe
What?
PAYG and BAS
So far,
count annually.
can we?
Annually is only for small businesses.
Small.
So you can
Very
you
tiny.
can report quarterly and pay annually.
Just for small
Small businesses. Yeah, typically.
and another question is on the BAS activity report.
Mm-hmm.
There's the transaction method. This is for DD and for EFT.
Oh.
Methods?
The EFT, DD, or CC.
Oh, you mean when we do the data entry and when we fail?
No, when we print, yeah,
First line you show EFT.
when we print the report, is that anything about
Is this
yeah,
what I
capital?
mean? Yeah, capital acquisition, GST free.
The TS, the TS, EFT.
After the date,
TS.
the
this one.
second
Oh.
column.
This one is we manually put it in. For example, like when Jessica do the payroll, she will put it into the payroll because normally it will generate a figure which is a check number, but we don't use check. For easy to find the transaction, we have each entity have their system to how to put this thing in.
So,
So
it's,
this one means trading summary.
So it's nothing about tax.
No, it's just for internal use. One more thing I want to talk about is for this column. Because this column is very short, we can't do any adjustment. So the most important information about every transaction should record record first. That's it.
Okay, it's record first.
I mean the memo. This column will show what you record in memo. For example, like this one, petty cash. The better way we can record maybe is petty cash weekend this week ending this time. So it's easy to tell what it is
So
when you do the
You
checking.
mean the most important words should be the
Go
first?
to the first, yes. Like later we do it the correct way. Like petty cash, weekend, blah blah. And then we can see what it is,
Yeah.
just as first glance. Any other question? No? Nope, that's it.
One question.
Oh yeah.
So when you do the cash receipts, is there a special way you do the journal for the payment?
Cash receipts. Yeah,
When you pay the payment for BAS, what's the journal you do to record?
Yes. After we do the bank payments, we'll usually have banking and spend money. And here, because it's online transfer, we put EFT here. And here we will say BAS Q3 payments. Just say use a banking function to close it to its account, its liability accounts, GST paid, and then the figures here. Date. Most of the time, we try to avoid to use journal. It's easy to make mistake, so we use banking function.
A small question. Just now, when you lodge this,
Yeah.
it means no sense. Does it mean delete?
Yes, you
delete
gotta
the
close
four
the.
and
Yeah, if it's under 40 cents, then you delete it.
and
45路怎么说
Oh, if the cents over 50 cents.
Round up.
Yeah, round up. Yeah.
must be.
Yep.
Just round up or round down?
Yes. Yep,
Okay,
that's it.
thank you.